Is it recording? Yes. Okay, good evening, everyone. I am Silver Consultant with Evolution and Archer Travel, Tanya Delphus. My business is called Adventurous Travels. If any of you guys want to go to my Facebook Messenger and add me on your messenger, that way, I found out after the last training that it doesn't record the sidebar, the chat conversations that we have. So we had some people that asked me questions, and I was unable to get back in touch with them because I didn't remember what the last name was. So any of you guys that are logged on, feel free to private message me and add me on your messenger. That way I can answer any questions. Okay. She was having problems getting connected to audio. She couldn't hear me. Good evening, ladies. Can you hear me now, Carrie? I see that you're back. Maybe not. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started, you guys. Whoops. So, first contact with your client. No matter how your client contacts you, whether it be through PM, text, a phone call, getting them on the phone is the key. You really want to have them on the telephone. Too many things can get missed when you go back and forth via text messages or private message. So I personally prefer getting them on the telephone. Everybody does this different. When we first start booking, it's usually going to be our warm market, which is our friends, family. You know, we all have a bad habit, including myself, of when I want to communicate with my daughter or my son, you know, we text or PM each other. Just remember, you guys, this is your business. So you really want to conduct it as a business, even with your warm market. When you practice with your warm market, which is your friends and your family, you're creating habits that will help you when you get into dealing with your cold market. That's people that you don't know or know very little of or about. And really, you guys, it's all about relationship building. When you work with your cold market, you know, you're building a relationship with someone that you may not have had a relationship with otherwise. So, and anyone that you come in contact with in your cold market is always a potential client or partner. So keep that in mind, how you conduct yourself on the telephone, even on PMs, texting. It's really important. Again, they're all possible potential clients and partners. After you've had your first contact, you want to email or give them a reservation information form to fill out and get back with you. Oops. I went a little too far. Sorry, you guys. So I explain the process when I have the customer on the phone, and I explain it to them simply. You know, you don't want to overwhelm even your friends and family by saying, oh, I have to do, you know, you don't want to go through this whole checklist of things that we have to do, even though we're excited about it. And, you know, it's challenging to us. And, you know, that's why they came to us. So I'll just kind of throw it out there. What I say to my client on the phone, I tell them, hey, I don't charge for my first round of quotes. And I have a system in place that will help me expedite this process for you. And it'll save you a lot of time and energy researching for yourself. And again, you guys, that adds, sorry about that. I forgot to silence my phone. That adds value to what you're giving to your client. So, you know, that's why they're coming to you, because you're going to save them time and energy by researching, and they don't have to do it themselves. So then I continue by saying, you know, hey, I'll send you this form to your email. Can I get your email address from you? Sure. They give me their email address. I said, it's a simple travel information form. Please print it out, fill it out completely. Either scan it or take a picture of it with your phone and send it back to me via my email or in my private messenger on Facebook. I'm going to do this 10 minutes after we finished hanging up today. If you don't receive it in that time limit, please check your junk mail folder. You know, sometimes when people get new emails from someone, their junk mail will send it to their junk mail or to their spam mail. And let me know either way if you have or have not received this, please, 10 minutes after we hang up. And then if you get it back to me by tomorrow morning, I'll go ahead and call you back tomorrow at this time, let's say 5 o'clock tomorrow, to go over all that information. Does that work for you? And they're going to tell you yes or no. So now you've done several things in this simple little conversation that you've had with the client. You've sent them the information that you need to complete their booking. You've made a follow-up appointment with them, and you've asked them simply to follow up and let you know. Sorry, you guys. So sorry. I don't know what's going on. The weather appears being a little whoopsie. I don't know where you lost me at. Let me go back this way. So, how far back did you guys lose me? I'm sorry, it didn't tell me until just like a minute ago that I was offline.
You were at the reservation form saying how you send it to them to fill out, and then it cut off.
Okay, great. So did I go through my little spiel that I tell my clients when I'm on the phone with them?
It stopped right there.
Okay. So I just tell them, thank you, Ashley, so much. So let me get back in here. All these technical difficulties, I really appreciate it. So I tell them, hey, I'm going to send you this form in the email. It's a simple traveler information form. Please print it, fill it out completely, either scan it or take a picture with your phone and send it back to me via email or my private messenger. I'm going to do this within 10 minutes of hanging up today. If you don't get it in that time, please check your junk mail folder and let me know either way if you did or did not receive it in the next 10 minutes, please. And if you get it back to me by tomorrow morning, I can go ahead and call you back tomorrow, let's say at this time, 5 p.m., and we can go over all that information. Does that work for you? So you've accomplished several things with this simple conversation. You've sent them the form that you need to start the booking process. You've made a follow-up appointment with them to go over the information, and you've also asked them to let you know that they've gotten the form. And again, you guys, don't leave loose ends. You know, don't send it to someone and then go, oh, well, you know, they should have called me if they didn't get it. You know, make sure you say to them, please let me know in 10 minutes. You know, make me your friend on Facebook, or send me a text or send me an email and let me know that you got the information. Don't let things go. Again, it's your business. It's your responsibility to make things get done. So this is a traveler information form, reservation form that I send to my clients. All I did, you guys, is I went into the back office and took Archer's reservation information form and made it my own. And it has all the information that I usually need with a first client contact to get the ball rolling and to do my first round of research to start doing their booking. And does anyone have any questions about these forms, or I can kind of go back and forth? If you guys have any questions, you can either open up the mic. It doesn't sound like anyone has a lot of background noise going on, or you can type in the chat box. I don't see my chat box, you guys, just so you know, when I have the PowerPoint up. Okay, we'll keep going then. So after you receive the form that they filled out, this is when I do a little bit of research. And again, being a new travel agent, I don't know where every airport is in the United States. And, you know, I don't. And Google's my best friend. I get on Google and look up stuff all the time. So we'll just use where I live for an example. You know, let's say someone wants to go to Elk River to visit their family. Well, you know, the closest major airport to us is Spokane. That's 3 hours away. There's 2 other small commuter airports that are within an hour and a half from our house, Lewiston, and Pullman. You know, and the only way you're going to find that information out is by going to Google and finding out what's closest to where they want to go. So that's when I do my first round of research. When that form hits me, Sometimes I even do it just off what they voice to me on the telephone, just to get an idea of where I'm going to go with their booking. So then you get out your checklist.
Tanya,
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
I don't know for sure if anybody else has my problem, but I just see you. I don't see the PowerPoint.
Okay. Let me see what's going on here. Technical difficulties. Is anybody else having the same problem?
I don't see. I see you. I don't see the PowerPoint either.
You don't see it there now either? Gotcha.
No.
Okay, where am I at? Thank you. Share screen. There. Can you guys see it now?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Carrie. So after you've received the form, like I said, you go over the research, then you get your checklist out. And the checklist, it's going to be on the next PowerPoint slide. It's in the back office under Travel Cafe under resources. And when I make second contact with my client, I have the form that they sent me that morning that they filled out, and then I have my checklist with me to go over. So let's just go ahead and go to the next slide. So here's the checklist. Oops. And it is, like I said, in our back office under Travel Cafe under resources. And this is so important, you guys. And again, a lot of this information that's on this checklist is already on your reservation information form. This just gives you another way. So the first one, yeah, I'm having a problem seeing my screen here. Sorry, dates of travel. So, are they flexible? And, when you get in and start looking at flights and stuff, maybe they can get a better deal on a flight that comes in at, the next day, or so these are things that you want to go over with your client on their second contact on that appointment you made with them for the next day. So are these dates flexible? Find out, maybe they're not. Maybe someone has to be, doesn't get off work till that day and then they have to be back to work the next day. So asking these questions, you're going to know exactly what you can and cannot do when you get into the vendors and start booking. And budget. Oh, this is so important, you guys. And I don't know why everybody wants to skid around this or feels bad about asking, but it's very, very important. This completely narrows down your search for what they're wanting to do. And you don't have to just present it going how much money you want to spend. Again, you're building a relationship with these people and you say, oh, what were you guys thinking about spending total for your trip? Or, and I kind of throw things in like, so it sounds like you guys want to do activities. So do you want to go a little less expensive on the room and splurge on your activities? Or, maybe it's an anniversary, so they want the room and then everything else be low budget, flying economy and that type of thing. So the budget's very important. Number 4, have you gotten any pricing from the internet? And if so, where? Anyone who's already done this is going to be more than glad to share the information with you. Again, they've called you or gotten in touch with you for a reason. So in most places that they've looked for themselves, they're going to give you the exact, website and everything that they went to, and you can go and look at it, and then you can compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges, and you can decipher what they found versus what you found. So it's very, very important. And again, as you go through these, you guys, they're pretty self-explanatory. Again, if anyone has questions, feel free to just unmute yourself and yak, because I can't see the chat box when I'm in here. So I'm going to go down to number 10. Are your passports up to date? Again, when you're doing domestic flights or you're staying in the United States, this is not important. But if people are going out of town, and make sure, especially if they're on a cruise, if they have to have a passport, that they do not expire or were not issued within 6 months of travel. There's a lot of countries that will not allow you entrance if you were issued a passport within 6 months, or if it expires within 6 months of your visit. So that's very important about passports. Again, passports, airline mileage, preferences. I have that on my sheet. Is a red eye flight okay? Some people might not be able to do the red eye. Airport transfers or car rentals. Again, I have a lot of these on my sheet. And then when it comes to car rentals, you guys remember, people don't always travel like we do. You know, me, myself, I travel like a miniature mouse. I mean, I got one little bag and I go, but then I have my sister. Anywhere she goes, she takes 4 bags, and I'm not exaggerating. You know, so if you have a couple people going and they pack that way, a compact car is not going to fit all their stuff. So don't be afraid to ask the questions. You know, ask them, how heavy are you going to be packing? Do you have car seats for the kids? You know, maybe someone has limited mobility, so you're going to have other devices that they're taking with them. Don't be afraid to ask. Again, if you have a group of people going, do you want one large vehicle? Do you want separate cars? Maybe they want to go, you know, their different ways. Again, insurance, car rental insurance. This is huge. This is not covered under your travel protection, you guys. So when they rent a car, me personally, our car insurance covers car rentals. So I don't have to purchase separate car rental insurance when I get a rental car. But some people's insurance does not. Make sure you always ask, if you get them a rental car, if they need to purchase the insurance. And then let's see. Again, questions. Do you want breakfast included in your hotel? You know, again, this might be a game changer for someone when you get online and start looking for them. And when you guys ask these questions, the biggest reason it's important, it helps you utilize all the filters on our vendor sites. So when you have all these questions answered and you go into your vendor site, which I'm going to do on next week's training, we'll go into VAX and TAP and actually go through the process. You can see on the filters, you can put right on there, you know, that they want a pool, they want internet, they want this, and it'll break it down for you. You don't have to do all the searching. It's only going to pop up what you've selected in that for to be your choices. So that's why this is so important. Where am I at? Lost track. Breakfast. Okay. And then, of course, legal names of travelers and date of birth is shown on government-issued ID or passports. I stress this in several different areas on both my documentation and my verbal conversations with my clients. This is so important. Okay. Travel protection insurance or travel protection. I really push travel protection. There are so many things that can go wrong. And if any of my clients turn down travel protection, I make them fill out this form and sign it and return it to me. And I know it sounds kind of brutal, the little thing that's in there, but you know, that's exactly what's going to happen if they get stuck. They alone are responsible for the cost of finding alternative means of transportation and lodging. And it means they might forfeit all the funds they paid for a cruise, vacation, or anything else that they couldn't get to because of an issue with the airlines, traffic tie-ups. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but I make my clients fill this out if they turn down travel insurance. Now, if they get stuck, I'm not going to not help them. I'm going to do everything in my power. But, you know, they don't have insurance to help them cover the cost. They're responsible for paying the costs out of their pocket. So look to book the quotes. This is where I find the proper vendors to complete the trip. So you've done your second client contact. You have all the information you need. You've gotten on your vendors list and you've looked up some of the things. Again, I make a phone call to the resort or rental car company if it's not black and white. You know, sometimes you don't have to call them. You know, if everything's saying exactly what you needed to do, but for an example, let's say you used a filter that said they had breakfast at the hotel. Well, when you go on the hotel, when you're booking their trip and it doesn't say anything in the amenities, that means you need to call the hotel and find out what their deal is for breakfast. You know, again, if it doesn't say it, you're not getting it. You need if it doesn't say you're getting breakfast, that doesn't mean you're going to get breakfast, even though you put that in the filter. So then I send the quote to the client and ask them to look over all their information and contact me within 24 hours at the longest. I also put a disclaimer on all my quotes. And this is the disclaimer down here. It says the fair price I might lose internet again. It's telling me I'm unstable. Are subject to change until ticketed. You know, this means that if you even get back with me in 6 hours, this might not be the same price, you know, that I quoted you, because it's only guaranteed at the time of purchase. So, client confirmation. When you speak with the client before booking, you'll make any additional changes necessary if needed and resend the quote. So this means you've sent the client the quote. They said, oh, I like this, but can I change this or can I change that? Go ahead and do that. And that's what I mean. If needed, resend the quote with the proper changes on it. I include quotes with activities that we have discussed. Again, if they don't want to do those activities, or if they think it's too much, you can always go in and take them off. Again, anything I add or delete from the previous quotes, I resend them another one. That way we're always on the same page. So at this time, if I have not done so already, I send the client a credit card authorization form. Sorry, you guys. I love living in the mountains, but it's wreaking havoc on my internet today. So where was I at that time, you guys? Where was I at, Carrie, when I cut off? Oh, I can't hear you.
If they decline insurance, you make them fill out a form.
Oh, I was all the way up there. Geez, ow. Okay. So this is the form that I have them fill out.
Oh no, after that, you was at the
After
slide
that.
after that. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
About
all right.
the disclaimer about the price quote.
Disclaimer. Okay, so there's the disclaimer that I put in about the price quotes. So then, when you speak with your client before you book, you've already sent them the quote, and you know this is where the tweak mode's going to come in. So let's say you sent them a quote with activities that they discussed. You know, they said, hey, we want to go to Sedona, Arizona, and we want to do the Red Rock tour. So you've included it. Well, they see that it's $600 for 4 people. They're like, nah, maybe we better not do that. Every time you change your quote for the client, resend them the quote. That way we're always on the same page. There's not something that's going to get missed. And then if I have not done so already, I send the client a credit card authorization form. I personally use 2 forms. I have one for first time clients that I don't know who they are. They're like cold market. Can you guys see my PowerPoint? Okay. So these are the 2 forms that I use. Sorry, you guys. Crazy, crazy. Okay, so these are the 2 forms that I use. I use one for clients that I've never met before. And the reason for the credit card authorization, you guys, is because of credit card fraud. This not only protects yourself, it protects your clients as well. So, you know, and again, I always say, you know, if the ID doesn't match for reservation or ticketing, it can cause travel interruptions or even denied boarding or access. I've never had a problem with anybody sending me their information when they're booking a trip. If you walk into a brick and mortar business, guess what? They're going to take a copy of your driver's license on their copy machine, you know. It's just how it works. Then I use a second credit card authorization for, I call them VIP clients. They're return clients. I know who they are. You know, I know that their card matches their driver's license. Again, credit card fraud is real, and make sure you get a credit card authorization form. On the one, you know, I have even taken credit card information over the phone from someone that I know personally. Again, I tell them, here's this form. I need it within 24 hours of me booking your trip, or it's subject to cancellation. You know, does that really mean I'm probably going to cancel their trip? No, but it's important that I have this for my file. I'm a business owner, and I need to have this information in my file. Come on. Whoop. Okay, so continue with the booking process. Ensure all documentation is sent to your client, including payment due dates and upcoming reservation and confirmation deadline dates. Ask them to go over their documents as soon as they receive them. I also send this note with all my itineraries, and it says check your documents. And you know, I mean, you can read it right there. It is so important, you guys. The IDs have got to match what I put on that paperwork. So when they get their itinerary, they need to go over it and make sure everything matches. You only have a limited amount of time when you do a booking to make changes. And anything after that time is a penalty or a charge to make a change. When you're dealing with the cruise lines, you know, it tells you for making changes or cancellations. It's all in black and white. So I send them any of that information with the booking. So follow up, and this is so important. Be sure to mark the travel dates in your calendar of your clients. You have got to be available when your clients are traveling. If you're not available, be sure to have a backup. This means using someone on your team. If you know your team's new and there's no one on there, and you don't really, you know, and your upline can't help you, call Archer. Call the main office. They will take your phone calls for you when you have people traveling. You know, I mean, it's so important. Be sure to put your deadline dates in your calendar, such as payment due dates, rental car or transfer arrangements. When you guys start booking, you're going to see, you know, for transfers, you usually have to call within, and again, I could be wrong on the dates, but it's going to tell you in the itinerary, call 5 to 7 days prior to flight arrival to make arrangements for the transfer. If you're making reservations for dining for your guests, you know, put all this stuff on a calendar somewhere, whether it be on your phone, in a book that you write down, it doesn't matter. As a courtesy to my clients, about a week prior to the vacation, I make a nice little letter thanking them for allowing me to assist in making their vacation one to remember. I include another copy of all their itineraries and who, this is important, if not myself, and how to contact them if anything arises on their trip. And I'm just going to use this for an example. I'm going on a cruise in January. I don't know if I'm going to have cell service or be able to get on the internet when I'm on the cruise. And I have other people cruising on a different cruise line in another location at the same time. So, you know, again, I'll look to my team members. If someone's up to the task to be able to answer questions, I'll pass it on to them. If not, I'll use the office at Archer. I also include a letter in my letter to them, my Facebook page, my website address. I ask them to feel free to post photos, comments, etc. during their trip. You guys, this is so important. With me being new, I mean, most of you don't know, I only started with Evolution in February. I'm out here all by myself in Idaho. I was the only agent in the state of Idaho until I started bringing on my team members. So my upline is in Las Vegas. Again, you know, I had a wide open market is how I looked at it. I didn't look at it as a disadvantage. To me, it was a total advantage. But again, when my friends start seeing that other people have taken trips and they were happy, and it wasn't a scam or a sham or, oh, this girl knows what she's talking about, the trips started rolling in like mad dogs, and I'm not exaggerating. So, you know, that validation from other people who have traveled with you is hugely important to your business. And don't be afraid to ask them. The worst they're going to do is say no. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And then before they go also with their letter, I include any coupons that I can get out of my discount directory form. I just had a friend go to Vegas. It was her birthday. I went in the discount directory, typed in the zip code for Vegas. I got her a buy one, get one thing to All Shook Up, which is an Elvis show. Elvis sang happy birthday to her for her birthday. It was the highlight of her trip. And I gave her that for free. I mean, these things are so important, you guys. When they've returned, I do a follow-up to see how it all went, ask them to review my website and my Facebook travel page. And then I also have a personal email list that I use for my clients, and I send them discount travel deals. And again, you know, an email, I'm not saying everybody needs to do it. That's just something that I do. Oh, come on, computer. Oh. So next week, I'll actually get on Vax and Expedia and do a little tutorial with questions and answers. So does anybody have any questions with stuff that I went over today, or it doesn't even necessarily have to be directly related to what we went over? Any questions?
The questions that they were asking when you were frozen was
Uh-huh.
how to go about getting those forms.
Which forms?
The ones that you had, that your checklist and that you made up for the authorization form.
Okay. The credit card authorization form is in your back office. If you log on and go to, I believe it's in business, actually the reservation form. Again, I think they're all in the same place, the reservation form. Let me see if I can get on while we're on here. So let me see if I can.
Did you make up your own? I think they were interested in, sorry.
Go ahead.
I think they were interested in your checklist too.
Gotcha. And yes, this will be available. I will share the recording. Oh, you know what? I don't know if the whole thing recorded because I kept getting popped off. It might be about 3 different recordings, you guys, because I kept getting bopped off, and it looks like it kept recording me though. So yes, whoever signed on late. And again, now that more people are on, you guys, when I record this, it does not keep my chat box conversation. Feel free to go on Facebook. My name is Tanya Delphus. I'll put back up my main name on the screen. Come on, computer. Send me a PM messenger request. I'm getting a little full on my friends list, so I have a lot of room on my messenger. So if you guys send me a private message, I will send you on there, and then you can ask me a lot of questions. Last week at training, I had a gal on, and she asked me a question, and I'm posting in all the evolution sites. You know, what was this girl? Are you trying to find this